everybody, today I'm going to show you how to plant up a beautiful planter and make a water garden feature. I'm going to be using this polka dot plant. I also have a syngonium and a beautiful variegated fern. So the first thing you're going to want to do is find a pot that you really like, and I found this vintage retro handmade pot, and it's got some unique, unusual shapes to it, but it does have a bowl that can hold some water. And I also put in some Gorilla Tape in here that's going to hold the water in, and it is literally the Gorilla masking tape. They do have waterproof tapes. This is working like a charm for several of my projects. So I have already put that in. I always test it out overnight to make sure there's no leaks, but if you press it firmly along the edges of your pot and you have a smooth pot, it's going to hold. I haven't had any problems with this before, so I'm excited about this and showing you how I go about doing this. I'm also using, this time I'm using the Polaco, I think I'm saying that right, submersible water pump. There's several different variations of these pumps. I think they're all the same company, they're made the same place, probably just different companies, but this is a really teeny tiny one, and I like it because it fits right in. I can either have the cord going off to the side or out the back. I'm gonna probably place it where there's the least amount of where I can't see it. So these are the plants I have. I also have some decorative rock that I'm gonna use to place around to kind of hide the ugly. And I also have some of this beautiful soil. It's a water soil, samurai soil. They have different names for it, but it's a growth medium that is pH neutral, and it does not promote any type of hardness to your water. It says it's ideal for freshwater shrimp plants and softwater loving tropical fish. We're not going to be putting fish in this one. It's all pre-washed, and so you don't have to worry about having the murky, ugly water. So we're going to be using that product. The main thing here is trying to keep all the soil from just spreading and just taking over your planter. That's where the soil comes in. So we're going to go ahead and take this polka dot plant out and try to remove as much of the soil as possible. And on this one, you can actually see the plug from the original seedlings. It's that square. They'll take and do these little square cells and start seeds in those, and then they up them to the 4-inch, and then from the 4-inch they go to quarts and gallons and so on and so forth. Just so you know how the growing process goes when they're actually growing plants out. Just kind of knocking as much of this soil out, and that we'll use that for another project. Actually, it won't go to waste. I just have a little container full of all my potting soil, and I just put it all in there. When I need potting soil, I'll just scoop it out from that little bucket. And it's actually today cool enough to do something in the greenhouse, which isn't normal weather for us. It's June and it's like 80 degrees. So I'm taking advantage of being in the greenhouse today. Here you go again. I'm gonna come up close and show you this plug. So you can see right there, it's like a little paper, almost like plug. And that's what they start the plants in, and then they transfer them to larger pots. So we're gonna just keep on knocking, let's keep knocking off that soil as much as we can. You can actually also wash all the soil off, but it's coming off pretty nicely. I think we'll be just fine. Just kind of knocking all these little roots, getting them from being wrapped around each other. All the nutrients that this plant's going to need are going to come from the water itself once you get some good bacterial growth. So let's go ahead and start putting in these plants. And I like these little lips here. I'm going to use that to kind of prop the plant up. It's really neat. I have never grown a polka dot plant indoors, so this will be my first time with that. If this is a good time, if there's any leaves that just don't look great, just pluck those off. There's lots of new growth in there. So I'm gonna keep shaking it, set this over to the side in that pocket, and it is filling up, but I still want this little fern in there. And if it does end up getting too full, then you can always just rebuild it and reinvent your planters. Don't be afraid to do that. Don't think this is just has to be a one and done kind of deal. You know, you're the artist. If you feel like you want to add something, do something different, maybe make it a seasonal planter. These ferns, I find them in the section of the garden centers that have a lot of like terrarium type plants, usually found in the greenhouses or in the shade area. And these are going to thrive with all this water. So I would kind of like to have this towards the back because I would like to be able to keep all of this forefront area as water movement. And I just sort of want this fern to kind of be tucked in. That's a little sad looking thing. I'm going to pluck off some of these lower branches that I feel like are going to just be in the water and maybe rot out. I'm going to try to get some of those little guys out. That way the new growth grows upward. So there's this little spot in the back corner. I'm going to kind of just take this and tuck it in to that space. And like I said, what I would like to have is more of this forefront as a little bit of water flow. So let's go ahead and try to make sure we are leaving enough space for the actual pump. And that should fit just fine right there. Kind of holds up all your plants, and then you can take this cord and just tuck it back. And literally you cannot see that. So let's go ahead and put in some of these rocks. These are really neat. They're like little pellets. But the nice part is that they don't put out any kind of murky water. So they'll hold everything in place and be a good substrate for all of my plants that I'm trying to put in. So you can just sort of, it moves, it's very satisfying. And like I said, there, once you get this, the beneficial bacterias and things moving and grooving, this is it. You're not going to have to really have anything, although I think you can add some fertilizer in the substrate as long as you tuck it down far so it doesn't actually get in the water and promote algae, because we're trying to avoid that. And having all the plants that are going to take in all that nitrogen should help with any type of algae growth, or overgrowth I should say. And just place my little pump right here. Like I said, this medium, this substrate is just so satisfying. It's literally like little pellets, but I don't necessarily want to see it. So we're going to put some rocks. Some of them can be pushed up against the back towards the plant itself, kind of hiding all that. You really cannot see this plug, this wire right here. Can't see it. But let's see. I think once we have it plugged in, it'll be a lot easier to kind of visualize, and we can make adjustments from there. I don't like that you can see that ugly white sticker. Like they have to put it on the top, right? Just pull that off. Ta-da. Well, there you go. So I grabbed a pitcher of water, and you can grab it out of your tub or sink, but I just went ahead and did a dunk in my pond because I like the water in there. It's probably got lots of nutrients already from the fish, and I just grabbed a little container of that. So if you have a pond or another aquarium, you can always grab some good nutrient-rich water from there and use it in your water garden. And one of the things I'm kind of learning is try to use something to pour the water in, so when you're pouring it, it doesn't mess up all of your rock. This kind of lets it dissipate a little easier. Let's get it as full as it can be without spilling over. The nice thing about this planter is that it has a really pretty base. So one of the things with doing something this shallow is you really got to make sure that this pump is submerged. Seems a little happier. So yeah, that's really pretty. And you kind of fuss with things until you get it where you want. I have this little Asian guy. I might tuck him in there, back in the in the bushes here. Oh my goodness, that is too cute. So there you go. I got my little Asian guy back there, kind of hidden. A little water flow. Maybe top it off a little bit more with some water, but I'll do that after I get it to its final resting place. I mean, you could add maybe some more pebbles to really hide that pump, but I'm not really that terribly worried about it. But for the sake of the video, let me go gather some rocks. Alright, so we can just go ahead and plop in some rock. I think that made a big difference. This is so cute. I love how he's just in there. He's hanging out fishing in a little creek. And like I said, you can glue this. You can use super glue and like paper towels. And if you wanted to beforehand, just go ahead and glue him to the rock. That's always a great option. But yeah, I'm so happy with this. Thinking this is perhaps a Father's Day present to my husband. He's been wanting a little something in his office, and I think this is really cute. We'll see. Okay guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Honestly, it came out better than I thought. I think I wasn't thinking about this little guy, my little Japanese fisherman, and it just literally is the perfect addition. I don't even know where he came from. I probably picked him up at a thrift store, which is always a great idea for any tchotchkes that you might think about. What are you going to do with it? Well, you can use it in designs like this. Oh my gosh, this is so stinking cute. Alright, well now I need to be able to keep it away from my husband until Father's Day. But this could make a really great Father's Day present for any of the dads out there. I don't know any dad that wouldn't like something like this. And you can find any type of pot and just go ahead and find one of these small Peleco pumps. I'm going to go ahead and have this in my description so y'all can just click on the link. It's an Amazon purchase. I do get like a little commission, but it will help you to know exactly what I use so you're not searching out there. And I could not be happier with the results. And I think he's going to love it, honestly. I'm happy with it. Alright, well thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys being here as usual, and I hope this inspires you. And I'll continue making different garden fountains for inspiration, gift ideas, or just, you know, things that you might want to do as a little hobby. Because it's really fun. And obviously it's, you know, everybody gets to benefit from it. It's relaxing. So I hope you enjoyed it.